Hi guys, my name is Juliana Ferreira and I'll be informing you all on my oral report on Emily Dickinson's poetry. During her lifetime, she was a virtual unknown in the poetic world. Only a handful of her hundreds of poems were published before her death in 1886. Like most writers, Emily Dickinson wrote about what she knew and about what intrigued her. As a keen observer, she used images from nature, religion, law, music, commerce, and so much more. These images she finds universal themes such as the wonders of nature, identity of the self, death, immortality, and love. Over these next few minutes, I'll be informing you all on how her poems create lyrics, abstract concepts, and show punctuation and grammar. Dickinson writes about her subjects. She reminds herself of the strength to help her open the tone behind her words. You can see by her poetry, Dickinson's poems are lyrics, generally defined as short poems with the single speaker who expresses through thought and feeling. In the journal 19th Century Literature, Ryan Coles writes Beyond the Cheated Eye, Dickinson's lyric sociality. In this, he argues that Dickinson identifies a possessiveness at the heart of the lyrical subjectivity that poisons social relations to present within her lyrics. This is an alternative poetic tendency to associate with others, meaning she wants her words to speak louder the lyric poems comes out. One of Dickinson's many special gifts as a poet is her ability to describe abstract concepts and concrete images. In many of Dickinson's poems, abstract ideas and material things are used to explain each other, but the relationship between them remains complex and unpredictable, especially when Cynthia Griffin Wolfe explains in her article of Portrait of Poems of Emily Dickinson's poem of Nature is What We See. She explains that the poem insists upon an almost uniform darkness and agony of vision which undermines the poem's ambiguities, and some of her statements directly contradicts the poet's. For instance, nature was seldom able to offer comfort or happiness, as against to Dickinson's nature is heaven, nature is harmony, and nature, the gentlest mother is, and patient of no child, meaning that she used as in realistic things, as in nature relating to human actions, as in it brings in the gentlest mother, the impatient of no child. With Emily's grammar, poems are mostly and usually first person, and she reminds readers that the I in her poetry does not necessarily speak for the poet herself. In some poems, the I addresses the reader as you. In one of her famous poems called The I Tasted Liquor, Never Brewed, she does not choose the prescribed life of a well-to-do woman of her era, which she mainly goes against marriage, so rather she becomes that outsider. She illustrates her devotion to rhythm, but it also shows her disregard to following that theme. She often chooses a suitable image rather than the full rhythm. Overall, through Dickinson's editing process, often focuses on word choice rather than on experiments with form or structure. This explains on how Dickinson's she mostly often punctuates her poems with dashes rather than more expected array of periods, commas, and other punctuation marks. She also capitalizes interior words, not just words at the beginning of the line. Her reasons are not entirely clear, but most people say because since she were not meaning for her poems for the public, she kind of kept it to herself. So, because of Dickinson, of her not publishing her poems, she didn't have to choose among the different versions of her poems or among her variant words to create this finished poem. This is why also most of her poems were never titled. Usually other authors just assume by her main purpose of the poem, they would use that to create a title for her poems. This is what kept readers and authors on guessing on main themes of her poem. She also created art and out-of-the-box work. So overall, she shows these signs to keep readers on their toes, bringing so much knowledge of her life and perspective. Thanks guys for watching. If you have any questions, please comment. But overall, thank you.